months. Well, it was canceled last month, so we didn't have one. Okay.
Oh, no, we didn't have the one where,
Yeah. The next thing, the appointments and updates to the downtown development. Mr. Allen isn't here. Mr. Richard Hensel has two appointments, so we'll do 2 on 1. He has the library board and the planning commission. Can you just, why you want to continue to serve and what accomplishments you guys have made and why you've been there?
Thank you. Well, I think the first one, it mentions,
Library board.
they're all, yeah. So the first one is the library board. Well, I was surprised to read in the resolution, it's been 20 years since I was first appointed to the board. And in 20 years, we've seen a lot of change, I'd say a lot of it for the good. Right now, we're in the process of looking for a new director, which will make the third director since I've been involved with the library board. It's relatively stable when you consider that this will be 20 years. We still are struggling there with a building that's aging and trying to work a way to get the building rehabbed. We're dealing right now with an elevator issue that's going to require at least $500,000 of investment. So I think I have a bit of work that I can still put in and contribute to that project and getting it off the ground. I've been appointed to the negotiation committee for the new director. So when they have a candidate or two, I think that work is very important too for the future of the library and our community in general. So I'm looking forward to continuing.
With the elevator project, are you guys looking at any grants or anything? Is there any like monies from like Justice 40 or any of those kinds of things that may contribute to help fund that?
We haven't, I've been to the Justice 40 meetings, but that actually hasn't come up there. I have had a conversation with Joey Andrews and his staff person, Allison. She wrote back with a number of ideas for where we might get funding. We also need to do $210,000 worth of tuck pointing. We've got bricks coming loose and some shearing happening in the walls. So basically we're almost talking about $1 million worth of funding that's necessary just to keep the outside of the building stable and accessible for everyone because of the state changing their elevator codes. We're spending $30,000 before the end of this year just to keep the elevator within code. And all of what we're doing is going to have to be thrown away because the elevator itself is too small. So, and because of its age and the controls that are in it, none of that will carry forward into 2026 and 2027 with the required updates that the state is asking for. So we had between now and 2027 really to get a new elevator in there. So
What is the budget?
our budget, well, we get about $500,000 a year in revenues. About a third of it is from penal fines that are collected here for Benton Harbor and Benton Township, because we have a contract to serve Benton Township. And they're distributed per capita. So it helps to have that population. We receive a small amount of funding directly from Benton Township from their taxpayers, equal to 0.4 of $1 million, which is roughly $25,000. And the rest comes from state aid and the millages that we have, one in perpetuity that's levied by the city, and then another that we just renewed for 11 years, and that one, both of them together is like 2.8 something mils. So it's tough because, as you know, property values have not increased dramatically in Benton Harbor, and so we've been stuck with that income now for quite a long time. We've been lucky that we've been able to eke out a little bit of a fund balance, and that's what's going to pay for the short-term elevator repairs. There's a little bit left for a rainy day, and potentially changes in funding. So as a board, I think that the Board of Trustees is wanting to hold on to that so that we don't run into a situation where we don't have money to operate. I mean, bills are paid on time and in full, and so we're in pretty good shape that way.
Appreciate you serving. 20 years is a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rich.
You're welcome.
Planning Commission.
So, well, the Planning Commission, I've been on for 8 years. I guess this is the beginning of the 9th. That role has been very rewarding, I think. I've had a chance to be involved with planning for the city, especially the community engagement part of our master plan update. I think that was something that Lee and I worked very hard to make sure that we got as much input as we could possibly do in that 18 months. And we're looking forward now to putting together an update to the zoning ordinance. So for me, it's an important time to be present to make sure that the residents and stakeholders' view of how things should go and as expressed in the master plan can be written into the zoning ordinance in order for us to get the results that people are looking for in terms of, you know, housing and neighborhood development, and some of our other facilities that need to be upgraded, and just hopefully improving our commercial areas downtown too.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
For serving. Motion that we move this nomination forward. You had a question, Commissioner?
No, I saw that, I saw it was, you
Okay.
talking about the library.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner, so the next reappointment is to the Brownfield redevelopment, and that is Commissioner Adams.
Yes, it would be.
Do you have anything? Why you want to serve? What do you feel like some of your biggest accomplishments have been since you've been on that board? And it's small time, not a whole lot.
Slow down.
What do you think,
Okay, what was the
why
question?
you want to continue to serve, and what has been some of your biggest accomplishments while serving on that board?
Oh, wow.
If you can't think of it, just.
It has been an honor to actually come home when I thought that I was just passing through, to actually stick and stay after listening to the cries of the people and getting involved. This was during a time to where I started coming down when they told me to come down here and see why they're down there arguing and stuff. And I did. And they were talking about this big, beautiful aquarium that they were going to build. And I think that it was out here where on Graham, back up in that area there where the old factories like Superior Steel, where they used to pour iron and stuff, where they left a lot of contamination that I guess they were hoping to one day clean up. And they had started this board, and I think it was 90 or 95 or something like that. But anyway, it dissolved, and they reestablished the Brownfield Authority Board in 2002. By this time, one of the commissioners then said that I think that you would be perfect for a position on this board because you're passionate about seeing something happen in Ben Harbor. And so I applied, and that was 2002, and I've been there ever since. And I must admit that I didn't know a lot then, but I've learned more than I anticipated. And it's been a wonderful ordeal being a part of a $500 million development. And that's something that didn't happen overnight. You know, I came in, I was a beautician, and I was giving back to the community, feeling like if there was something I ever took that I would get back, doing specials for $10, $10 days. And I'm just ecstatic at the women that were working. I mean, hardworking women that would come in and get their hair done after working a third shift job at Bosch and Whirlpool. And I saw something that they evidently didn't see, and that was that these factories are about to close. And you guys need to be getting your heads together and putting some money together, getting some loans or something, and starting your own businesses. And it happened. And when it happened, it was a lot of pain. And it hurt my business too. But anyway, by then I was involved down here, and I would allow them to coach me, to tell me, what do you guys want to see? You know, it was like I was having community engagement in the beauty shop. And it's good. And I used to encourage them to come down and get involved. It's hard to get our people in their own community to come down here and help to guide the ship of what they want to see in their own community. And so along the way, we have, this development, and we got a lot of flack about it. But I haven't seen anything else happen since then. I heard a pastor sit here last night talking about, okay, we got dispensaries and so what would we have if we didn't have it? It built on a tax base. I heard a kid on the news, and he was happy as a lark. And during the time that we approved this $500 million development, I don't care if it was Whirlpool, I don't care if it was Kellogg Company. These factories are about to close, and we got people in our community that need jobs. We got babies that need to be trained, and they need to start right now. So if we didn't start then, when? So he was happy. He's in the kitchen over there, learning how to be a chef. We like to eat. Somebody's got to do it. But it created a job, but actually it created more than that. I saw some kids that were very happy caddying for big wigs. I mean, black and white. We got some black folks that, like the golf too. Yeah, anyway. It's just been wonderful, and along the way, the laws of the brownfield were very strict on what we could do. So along the way, as an elected official, that I became an elected official in 2011, when I saw that democracy was under attack with emergency management. So I'm like, okay, this fight gonna get bigger. So, with that fighting, I did some legislative work with the state of Michigan, sitting on a committee that was putting forth legislation to change the laws of brownfield, to broaden it so that we could do more things. As we capture these tax dollars, we should be able to do something. And that was the initial, that was my initial plan, with the hopes that the board would see something too. We had a timeline that Mark had gave us. This amount of millions this year, this amount of millions this year, and it didn't happen because St. Joe, the county, ended up with the most of the deal of, anyway, it is what it is. And I think it's at a halt now, and we're collecting more of those tax dollars, as well as what's been set forth. But I'm not a quitter, and I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere because I've gotten older and I have more years behind me than I do in front. And nobody else too much is knocking the door down. So I'll just continue to serve until somebody else steps up and wants to help to make a difference. And not only that, those laws have changed within the brownfield, and we've fought endlessly since Trayvon Martin's death. some funds for our underserved communities that the emergency manager was put on, and it turned out to be just as 40. And it's here for underserved communities, people of color, and we have an opportunity to do some things. And I'm hoping that we can get together and do exactly that, but my desire is just to continue to serve my community, period.
Thank you so much.
So I have the pleasure of sitting on the Brownfield with Commissioner Adams. I appreciate your passion for the community, and I'm happy that some laws have changed, that some of the things you wanted we're now able to do with the Brownfield. And I hope that going forward, we're able to do more training, because I know you always speak about training.
Arlene Doss, EPR.
Thank you for continuing to serve.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll send this to the full commission.
Okay.
Send your phone.
Yes, thank you.
Next item on the agenda, we have some unfinished business with the honorary street renaming of territorial from 4th to 6th Street to Richard Hunt Way. Is there anybody that's representing that would like to come and talk about the renaming?
Good evening. I met with my director this morning in regards to what we would like to do. There was some errors on the application. She suggested that we revisit the application and make those corrections because we had decided to, instead of do the street naming from 4th all the way down to 6th, just do it from 4th to 5th. As far as the signatures go, there's one signature on here, and he basically owns 25% of the property area where we're trying to do the street naming. So if allowed, we would like to just make the corrections to the application.
Is there anything else? I know we sent this back. That was it.
The commission, or the, commission
Yeah,
sent it
sent it
back,
back.
tabled.
To get those items straight, I think they had talked to city manager. Did we talk to?
I spoke to the director.
Director as well.
She said that she had no problem taking the revisit.
All of those corrections have been made, so you're gonna be submitted to the clerk with the new changes. and
Yeah,
stuff.
with the errors corrected. Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, we'll be voting on this particular item.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just to piggytail back on that, Michael Hoy, for the renaming of the Richard Hunt Street. We really wanted to see that done for September 12th in the city of Chicago. They're going to be actually renaming the street in Chicago. We wanted to have
Next
it.
meeting though, Mr. Holt,
I
is
know.
not until the 19th. It did not
I
go to
know.
the last committee, so it won't get done until.
I know,
next
just
meeting.
we wanted to see it done for that time, but very
We'll
well.
have
Just wanted to just
special
inform you
meetings to
that,
do
I just wanted to inform people that the one in Chicago is going to be ready to go. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is new business, so a resolution amending the social district application and management and maintenance plan. City manager, are you presenting that item, or is this somebody supposed to be here from?
Actually,
That item should be removed.
no, Tiffany attended the meeting with the Metro State Companies. Tiffany, did you share that there?
Sure, so, we got approval from the state for the social district, and while putting the packet together for all of the qualified licensees, there were a couple questions that arose in the plan. Most of those, well, actually, all of those are highlighted in yellow in your draft. So there was a change to the name of one of the qualified licensees who is, doing a DBA as a new name and not the one that was on the previous application. So you'll see that change there for Benton Tavern.
And who was that?
That was it was previously Hawks Nest, yeah. One of the other things that we wanted to implement with this plan is an application to the city so that the qualified licensees will submit an application to us because the city commission has to approve this license before it goes to the state. So it's just for them to fill out their information so that we can take it to the city commission. One of the requirements added is a $50 annual permit application fee. That is also added into the plan. So the plan will reflect that, as well as a participation agreement, which just states that the qualified licensee is aware of all of the rules that are in the plan. That way, if they do not abide by them, we have a little bit of backbone to take to the control commission if we need to. The other thing in the plan that was noticed is that the previous plan had stated that the dates were April to October or May to October and not year round. And the purpose was to have it as a year round social district, not to put a limit on that. So that has changed in the plan. That is all of the changes that were put in there. They're all highlighted in yellow.
Did the planning commission actually get a chance to look at this as well?
The planning commission?
You guys,
We were part of the meetings. I do want to say, I spoke to every one of the participants on Friday and delivered the package with the forms and notified them of the $50 fee to the city. And there was absolutely no concern about paying the $50 fee or these conditions that are in the packet. So just for commissioners who know that they're perfectly happy to contribute something to the expenses the city's incurring and to be bound by the agreements.
so I was looking at, it's a $50 fee, so it's also a $250 fee and then a $70 permit.
That's to the state.
That's to the state.
Yes.
Oh, that money's to the $250 and the
That is to
$70?
the state,
And the city is only charging the $50?
$50 per year. And the current licensees, theirs will go through the end of 2025. Since we're approaching the end of this year. And the package that Rich delivered did have this proposed draft in it for them so that they could also see those changes.
And with the festivals and the special events that happen, so explain that to me.
And you talking to the mic a little bit there.
Could you explain that part?
So it's my understanding that if an event goes and they apply for a special permit through the state, that the social district businesses will not sell during the event time. So it only applies if that event obtains a special event license.
Like a nonprofit would do for an event or something like that?
Yeah, where they would serve their
Serve
own.
their own.
Yes.
What is unclear about that is, whether or not other areas of the city. So if you're having an event on Riverview, I mean, that really would be well outside the district boundaries, so there shouldn't be any issues there. But if it's from 4th to 8th and, the other side of Main Street, then perhaps they would have to stop.
Yeah, so it's my understanding that that's only if it applies inside of our social district.
Y'all don't see it.
But it's, the houndstooth is a part of it, so if people, so just on that side, so if somebody was at the houndstooth or at any business on that side, that they will be considered being a part of that
Right,
social district.
up to Wall Street, both sides of Wall Street.
I agree with the social district, I don't think anything is wrong with that, but I'm just thinking about, just the confusion that could happen, if people are down in, the White Pea Mitchell, if people are along the side, along that how, just, I guess being really clear with our instructions and markings and stuff like that, where that'll start and where that'll end would be probably very important.
So there will be signage out there indicating where the social district is located.
And the park is not part of that.
Right.
Oh, no, none of the parks are,
Parks, right.
you're not supposed to have alcohol in one.
I don't think so, because you're talking about in general, you're not specifically talking about a festival or special event. Okay. Yeah, I think your signs are here.
Does anybody else have any questions on this item from residents or Commissioner Henry?
Do we receive anything from the state of Michigan concerning this endeavor?
Just looking at the application, I don't know if we get any monies back from the application fee. I don't think so. Just like with the medical marijuana, they pay that money. You don't get anything back from the state for that.
And
Okay,
this ordinance was based on the state statutes. So if you're asking about, does it comply, it was reviewed and based on the state statutes.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about more money coming into the city.
So
And with the state, is the state giving some of that money back or? And I'm gathering the answer is no.
That's
Shame,
what- that's what-
shame on the state of Michigan. Okay,
any other questions?
and I have one more question, Chair. After the application has been put in and it's reviewed by inspection,
That's what it looked like. It says here, there's a, with
Yeah, actually, inspection would have already reviewed these for their regular business situation, but they'd be reviewed for compliance with, the guidelines of the district.
and then what? Is that the end of the process?
That's the end of the
Is either
process.
approved or not approved? And if there's a problem, it'll come back to the elected officials?
No, if there's a problem, it'll get resolved by the group that's overseeing it, which is DDA, the Arts District, and myself. We intend to not bring you any problems.
So I'll just wrap my head around that because it's made me dizzy just to think about who's going to be in charge.
What we're saying is simply that they will comply with the rules of the district or they won't be participating.
Well, I just want to know the process of what happens
could you, Rich,
or
could you-
whatever goes on. I just want to know the process so I can say, well, I know the process. And if it doesn't happen, I'll say that.
Could you go like first step one step? Would you just do that real quick? Just like in a brief, an abbreviated, like this is what happens, step one, step two.
So if the business decides that they want to participate, of course, they have to be licensed with the state to sell liquor to begin with. They pay the fees, well, first of all, they fill out an application. It gets reviewed by the staff, by the clerk, who then will bring that application to the city commission, so that the city commission can be on record as approving this applicant before it goes to the state for final approvals. When that comes back, and also the business is paying the fees at that point to the state. When that comes back, then they're authorized to be part of the social district. So all 7 packets went out to the businesses on Friday. We hope to have all of them back, or as many as possible, on the 11th or before, so that they can be reviewed before the city commission meets, and the city commission will make its decisions about what to do with the applicants. In the meantime, signage, other things that are necessary for the district to function are being produced now. So in answer to the question about process and where you get that information, there will be a QR code on the signs, and that QR code connects to the city's website and a page that was created by the clerk with the maintenance plan in it, which is the document that explains what the hours are and what each business is responsible for doing. the license application. So if we have new businesses that come in, they can go right to the city's website and get it directly from there. And
Map.
the map, so the map, of course, will change based on who applies to begin with. But we have a map with all 7 on them, should all 7 get through at once. But if not, that's fine too, because we can still launch as long as we have one participant who gets through everything. Is there anything else? So then the partnership that was formed by the city manager includes the DDA and the Benton Harbor Arts Association. And with funding and support from Cornerstone Alliance. So Cornerstone is paying for the signage. And they've had their staff produce all the artwork and everything to be able to do this and for the website that the city has, so that stuff is all there. And then if there are questions or concerns, we hope to get right on them. Of course, if there's something that's some sort of legal violation, we expect either the owner property, the business owner, or a member of the public who's having a problem would call the public safety department for assistance. But we don't anticipate any of that. But that would be the procedure.
Tiffany, you could also explain what a social district is when the QR code is, it'll go to that page and it'll say.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
social-
so
and then the
it'll
social
give a
district.
description of what the social district is, it will list rules of the social district, for the patrons. So that they will know what to expect when they go to the social district.
Commissioner Adams?
I'm aware that this is an amendment and adding to, but, you know, I never really supported this, and I know that I don't have the last say in this matter, but we have to take into consideration that we have some of the least of us that are alcoholics and probably have other problems too, that hang out in the park. And they probably will just blend right into the social, you know, the social districting that is going on with the drinking. But my problem with it is, and I don't think I've heard it, of who's going to be held accountable for, I'll go to my cousin Buck as a perfect example. When someone was drinking too much and left the bar, not 500 feet away, and he lost his life. I mean, we need to discuss those things.
So there's an answer to that
I was
question.
like, yeah.
The answer is that all first of all,
Are there different cups for
so
different
right.
establishments?
So the social district is obviously a place, an area that we've outlined. But each of the businesses is responsible for who they serve.
Mhm.
And only certain things can go out of that business.
Okay.
So if they're not in a cup that's sealed and marked for the business that it came from, and it's marked for the social district,
Okay,
then they can't be carrying it.
okay,
So
so
open liquor,
are they showing a license or something as to the amount of drinks that they've had at an establishment to go to another establishment and have another drink? I mean,
no, I don't think it's any different than any other.
okay, so nobody is
situation.
controlling how much a person is drinking,
Well, the
and
bartenders,
that's my
Like,
thing,
the bartenders are responsible. There have been
Yeah.
establishments here that have been sued.
yeah,
Some
Yeah.
people have been killed. I know
yeah,
one in
I'm
particular.
just,
If
yeah,
somebody's
I mean,
overserved.
we're actually talking about the number one killer in America.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
There are safeguards built in for
Yeah.
people being overserved.
okay,
And yes, establishments can be sued
yeah,
for, people being overserved. In fact, one has been.
yeah.
Community.
And I'd just like to add on this, this is not starting a new business.
I know,
This
I
is the
already know,
same
yeah,
exact business
Yeah.
that it was the day before the social district. As Rich said, the social district is simply a place where you can walk outside with your not greater than 15 milliliter or whatever it is, cup, ounce, and, that has a sticker on it from the bar you bought it from. You can walk around with it within this place that's described and set up. But you can't do anything any different than you would have if there was no social district and there was a bar, except walk out and walk around this place.
And the cups are sealed, so
Okay.
they can't be opened, or if they are opened, then they're walking around with somebody else's alcohol. And
Okay.
that's something that will get sorted out by public safety and the bar owner.
Okay. Okay.
Before we move on to the next, is there any other questions or comments about this particular item?
That
Or
was
any
it.
more clarifications? All right, we'll move with this item before the full commission at our next meeting. The next item on our agenda is the resolution to amend the city's garbage, refuse, and litter ordinance to increase fees for trash collections within the city of Benton Harbor to pay for the direct cost of such collection incurred by the city. And I was reading through this, we're gonna discuss this one. City Manager, I was reading through this, and my understanding of this is that people will be able to put more things on the trash, and we're just recouping funds because people have been doing that already. And so this is to recoup the cost of that incurred expense that the city has. And I noticed because I hadn't thought about it, and I thought it was a great idea, when people are having events, and there's more trash and stuff like that. And so now, the organizations that are having events will be responsible for paying for the increased trash collections from events, which makes sense because the city had been incurring all those costs prior to.
Not the residents, the event plan.
Yeah, so if somebody put down a $250 deposit, so if the cost of disposing of the trash costs more, or somewhere, then that deposit could be taken to pay for the cost of the garbage that'll be removed, because it's by the ton when they take it to the landfill, and so it's a problem in the community. I'm glad that we're able to do this. Not happy about the increased cost, but I understand that the cost that the landfill is requiring is ridiculous.
But it's important to emphasize that it's not only that situation, for example, where somebody using a car to move trash, but the same in terms of a residence. The $17.65 a month, I believe it is, that residents pay is for this 190-gallon trash can that they have. And if you ride down any street on trash day, a good number of them are just in the can. But you'll see a large number with piles on the side, mattresses on the side, all kinds of junk. We gotta pay for every bit of that when we get to the landfill. And what it really amounts to is that we're not recouping the cost. We're having to pay that out of other city money to pay for that extra stuff that we take. Tuesday morning when I came to work, there was, let's see, did it come down? But there was one can here and a pile of stuff that went from here to the corner there beside one can. We wound up paying for that. And what other communities are doing, and we want to do the same thing, they let people come into their payment center and buy a stamp. And they take that and put that on that stuff that shows that they paid for it. And then refuse people just pick it up and take it home like normally.
So do we know the price of the stickers? And then is this also the same case for bulk items? So like if someone wanted to get rid of a mattress or a
Exactly.
large television?
Exactly, that's the plan, that's the intent. Now, this action that you're doing here now simply authorizes the process. Then we'll come back with a resolution that deals with what the amounts will be
Okay.
for those particular things.
Commissioner Adams?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. I guess my question becomes, or not question, I'll make a statement because under no circumstances would I just be silent and allow the residents of Ben Harbor incur another cost for anything concerning trash right now. Because again, that's exactly what the Justice 40 initiative was for. And I was hoping that if anything came up about trash, that Benton Harbor would be adopting exactly what Flint has. They got millions of dollars to redo the whole community, and we need to be trying to replicate it. I mean, it's a lot. And I can't be everywhere, but if I'm just at home, then I'm paying attention to what's working in other places that we are trying to or need to be replicating as well. And it came from Eagle. I mean, we need to be riding Regina Strong's coat because she's there to help us. We got all the technical assistance we need available from the decarbonization coalition, the energy department. I mean, and we're missing the mark. If this conversation came up, that's exactly what we should have been talking about. I was so impressed when I saw the press release of Flint City Mayor, and this has been several months, but they've adopted this recycling thing throughout the whole city and have the funds to do so to try to save the residents some money and create more jobs. Here we have more businesses that have gone up and open and operating, putting more into the city's coffer, whether it's dispensaries or whatever. We're collecting those tax dollars. And Mamie just gave an update on the tax dollars that we're accumulating now that we're getting some of our revenue shares back more than we were. That's not something I can sit back and be silent about, because we still have a community that's not only hurting but underserved, and we need to be working on the crime, yes, many of things. But I'm hoping that with when it comes to our trash, whether it's event planners that's hosting things or anybody else, help them too. But those are the things that we need to be on board with and trying to make it happen ASAP because it's available. Yeah.
Before you can help others, you gotta be able to help yourself.
Well, us is who I'm talking about.
Our situation is such that it's simple. We generate more trash per individual than many places. We are attempting to do more handling and whatnot to dispose of trash. But this city doesn't have the revenue to just do good things because we want to. We gotta make some of the stuff pay for itself, or we're gonna be back where we've been. And I would hope we would do better than that. The simple fact of the matter is that we are picking up and disposing of and paying for far more trash than what we're billing for and collecting. And that needs to be balanced. We as citizens need to pay the reasonable cost of what it takes to provide that service.
Madam Chair, I'm aware that the prices have gone up in the landfills because the price of everything has gone up. But we need to be being creative and thinking outside the box, trying to create more things to. Wait a minute. When I took an oath of office, and I'm pretty sure you guys did too, it was to improve my quality of life. Not to stab me with a price or a ticket every chance you get.
Mr. Henry?
raises went up.
I'm listening to what the city manager's saying, and I'm reading this. There's one thing that's just gone at me. Is how much we passed this resolution, ordinance, and we don't even know how much. How much? Because at one time, there was a price on picking up a large item. That's when Willie Williams and them was doing it. Then when the other group came in, there was a price as well. So before I could even consider voting on this ordinance, I want to know how much.
Well, he said that he's gonna come back for the amounts, so right now, this is the.
I heard that, but listen to what I'm saying. We are getting ready to, if you send this to the body with no price, this is an ordinance. You know it's legal. A resolution that is amending an ordinance is a legal document. Now we approve it. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with letting staff make the decision on how much. I'm just not comfortable because the compassion is not there for the vulnerable, the homeless, the senior citizens, the fixed income. There's no compassion there from my perspective. And it gets worse every year. And I'm saying to you, if you can give us some prices on what you want to do, because from $5 to $85 is a lot of money. I know some communities that charge $85 to pick up a bed. But ours was $5 at one time. It was $30 at one time. I need to know what will satisfy the new hunger of the landfill and our responsibility for dumping, keeping our city clean. Now, if it doesn't come out of this committee, I just don't know what to say.
Just a moment, please.
So the city commission will vote on those rates. The previous ordinance had the rates in it, and, you really don't want your rates in an ordinance because then you have to update your ordinance every time you do it. So this is stating that the city commission will by resolution approve the rates. This is just to get it going so the city commission can approve, yes, we want this sticker program, yes, we want to do it this way. It's the process, not the rates. The rates will come after the process is approved. And you as the city commission will be able to vote on those rates. That are being charged for each individual thing.
Does those tickets include us giving our residents 2 stickers a year to be able to go to the dump? Like township and other communities?
Township don't give me no 2 stickers.
Okay, well, they may not, you probably just don't use them. But I know my in-laws and some other people get 2 dumps. But we got, when was the last time you saw the street sweeper? Was that bridge look a mess? The new street down there, Empire look a mess? The residents of this community.
We have to stay,
No, I got a question.
No, okay, I need you to ask your, is it related to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go
Does the
ahead.
stuff that the street sweeper pick up, does it go to the landfill as well?
I mean, why wouldn't it not? It's trash.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, any trash goes toward the landfill, and the thing that's been happening in Ben Harbor is trash is being mixed. And they
Okay,
ain't
so,
saying nothing about that cost of
Okay,
having to
but-
sort, that's an extra charge
okay, that's.
to the city when
Okay,
they have to sort out trash, if there's leaves in there, if there's something in the trash. So there is a lot of components, but one of the important things that we talked about was us getting our own transfer station so that we could do that ourselves and not incur that cost.
Exactly.
It is very expensive right now. Even Benton Township, their charges for stuff is way higher, but they're doing the cost of living increase. They don't care what we say about complaining about different stuff. I know. That's also there. So yes, they do charge way more, but I don't know what we're looking at or what costs we need to charge, to your point, to offset those costs. And so, do you have an idea of what those? And then I'll call. I haven't.
And at this point, I don't want to throw out any figures because with this particular ordinance, as Clerk Moore said, nothing changes. Your current price stays exactly what it is with this ordinance change until such time as you do a resolution that the elected officials set what the rate's going to be for these additional charges and pickups. Now, I have been applying to the state also about trying to do a citywide recycling program, a source separation recycling program, where each household gets several different colored bins and put cans in this one, glass in that one, paper in that one, and even a specialized truck that comes around with different bins that people pick up and put the recyclables in the right bin and take it off and do it. That should help reduce our overall volume of trash and not cost us anything additional if in fact grant monies provide the bins and the truck and all of that kind of stuff. But absent that, we still have a situation where every time we're picking up a bed, a mattress, a refrigerator, a stove, just a big pile of junk where somebody's been set out. I've been watching that here for years, and you all have too, that people will do set outs, and there'll be stuff out there that you can't even see the corner. A truck comes along, picks it up, and it fills darn near the entire truck. And they gotta take it to the landfill and pay. You realize every time that truck goes up there, it's about $2,000 that we have to pay?
Does the
And
housing
that money's
commission
not there.
ever pay anything to the city, the housing commission? Because this is most of their properties that folks set stuff out.
No, they got their own.
I never asked that. No, they don't. The city of Ben Harbor been picking it up for years, but it's time they pay.
You're probably talking about individual houses that they got out. and
No,
different-
housing commission houses.
We don't go into their
No,
complexes and pick up the trash.
no, not those. No, the individual houses.
That's what I'm saying.
Owned by-
Yeah.
So I have noticed that there are some businesses who are taking advantage of the city's trash service, which I know is against the ordinance. But I don't know what the mechanism is as a rule for the city to audit what they're picking up and where, to kind of screen them out. But that might help too with reducing overall costs if you can get a few of those out of the city's hair and make them pay for their own dumpsters. That would be good.
I would certainly agree. And I don't think we had any process in the past for doing that, but we will be having that. Yeah. But all we're trying to do, we're not trying to make it harder on anybody or show our lack of compassion or any of that. What we're trying to do is start to balance some of these situations so that the city can become solvent again and be able to take care of the things that people call us and ask for. And this is no different than any other city. Every city I've been in, when I went in and started looking, you found things that were way out of kilter and out of balance. And it's because people aren't necessarily looking at these as separate situations. They look at it as all city money. But that's how you go under too. Because if you are selling and collecting money for 1 million gallons of water, but you're pumping 3 million gallons of water, you're losing twice what you're picking up. And either that other should stop, or you should start collecting money for it. And it's no different with trash. If you are paying for 10,000 pounds of trash, but you're collecting for 5,000, then you got a problem.
Something has to give, because Benton
Commissioner
Harbor
Adams,
has the mostest trash
Commissioner,
in surrounding towns.
Commissioner Kennard had a question.
You made the point, you're right.
Yeah.
We do have too much trash, and we're not collecting for it.
Wait. Commissioner Kennard, you had a question.
The one thing that I see that is sort of interesting to me is when we come forward and bring an issue that is gonna incur more dollars to be paid out for our bills. When there should be facts and figures with it. So when you bring forth, you should have a figure in your mind pretty much as to what it would cost. So that was the one thing I was looking for. What did you have in mind approximately what it would cost each home for the increase?
And when we get that resolution, we will have.
But shouldn't that both come together? You should have an idea already.
They don't come together, as we both explained. This is just an enabling ordinance that enables the commission, not me, the commission to set rates for what gets paid down.
But you
And
didn't.
we'll get to explain to the commission what our thoughts are as administration, why we think a particular number is the right number or whatever. But ultimately, you all, the commission, will decide.
Fair.
So I just had a general comment. I think Mr. Little mentioned he's lived throughout the country, and so have I. And I have never seen a city be taken advantage of like I've seen Benton Harbor. Everywhere you go, if you have a bulk item, you pay a fee. It's not like this is something that someone randomly created. It's common sense, and that's just what happens because you cannot continue to have a city pay for something and no one is paying the city back. How can a city operate? So what's happening here is we're not inventing the wheel. We're just trying to do what's right so the city can properly pay its bills. This will not affect every citizen. I'm a good example. I don't throw mattresses away daily. It would be something that would probably be a rare occurrence if a resident, got new furniture. It wouldn't be something that's going to be on their trash bill every single month, unless they, were out of the ordinary. So I feel like we need to look at things holistically. When we talk about people being sit out, a lot of those property owners don't even live in Benton Harbor. They're renting. A lot of them are slumlords. They're renting to people in Benton Harbor. So we're going to protect someone that doesn't even live here that owns a property that's taking advantage of the city and sitting someone out. I guess I don't see the logic in that. And I feel like we have to, as a city, we have to do what's right so the city can properly operate and be able to pay its bills.
Nothing. She just touched base on something
Commissioner Kennard still at the floor.
that,
What I was speaking about with the price increase, me, just one person that lives in my house, I don't even take garbage out every week. So that, and I don't have mattresses and anything else, but I will incur an increase, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Only if you set
No.
something out.
right.
If I get a sticker, you would have to come down to the city, to the water department to purchase a sticker and put it on your trash. And that's the only way you'll incur that cost for that particular item. Just
Okay,
like with was it Best Way Disposable? So you have to call them, pay for your item up front, and then they will come and pick it up. So it's the same process except for you. If you need a larger item, more items set out than what fits in your can, you have to come down to City Hall, get one of the stickers that we're saying and put it on your trash. If they see that, then they'll pick it up. If those stickers are not there, they're not gonna pick it up. You have to pay for, so you're paying in advance for those bulk items. It's the same process that we had with Best Way, but we're just purchasing stickers to make it easier for our trash people to see. So that people don't have to pay online and all that kind of stuff. They can come into the water department, get a sticker, put it on their trash, and then the trash, garbage, people will pick it up. And I don't wanna say garbage people, our workers, employees will pick it up.
Yeah. But now, if we have slumlords,
Same
And they don't-
process.
and if they don't remove that, what happens?
That's
They
what,
blow down. Then code enforcement has to go out there and cite them for failure to
Okay.
properly dispose of it, and then we fine them.
okay, but does that go towards their taxes, like the water, if they don't pay?
If they don't pay it,
Okay, but how will we know? Okay, she touched base on that though, but my question is, usually I would send somebody down here, or I come down if I got extra that doesn't fit in the can to see, and meet here, somebody would have to come out and see how much it is. Because one sticker, if it's just one sticker, then
it may not be enough for that.
exactly. And that's why he make those rounds, because some people do call down and let us know that they have, you know, and that's the instruction that I give people. Will they pick this up? No, you need to call down and ask them, you know, to come and take a look, and so you know how much extra you have to pay. Yeah, and I thought it was working for the most part, but a sticker makes sense. Yeah, I mean, do you need to come down with a picture? I mean, is there another process to make sure that the pay is fair? I mean,
And there would be parts to it, like you just said. If a price is set on a sticker, and a person has an extra bag of trash, you put the one sticker on that. If you've got a mattress and box spring, you put a sticker on each.
Yeah.
If you've got a big pile of stuff, you call down and have somebody come out and take a look and tell you what it's gonna cost to dispose.
you know what's sad and very unfortunate that I've seen since I came home? When I came home, it was clean, cleaner than it is now. Willie Williams did a good job. And somebody had a problem with the price that this man was getting. He picked up stuff from old empty lots that people just drop off. See, it ain't always looked at like this, Adana. It really hasn't. But it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we need to, I mean, because a lot of the complaints that we get is about trash. I mean, I receive them at least one or two a day about the trash and how the city looks. So this is an opportunity so people are not just sitting stuff out, not knowing the process. And so, you know, this is a way to help people understand this. You get a sticker, put it on there. It's 5, 10, 15, whatever that item is, put it on, yeah.
You are absolutely right. You know what else needs to happen when that happens? A truck. The truck that the citizens bought to clean the streets. When that trash man run and that doorman, that day, that street sweeper need to be behind it.
I agree, that's what.
Cause our baby shouldn't have to keep looking at, I mean, and we wanna know what's wrong with them. If this is what we're serving them,
I agree.
And I would add, I'd love to have the street sweeper behind it, but we have to have the money to pay an extra person to be on there. What's happening right now is the same thing that's been happening in the last 3 years that I've been here. You have about 5 or 6 people out of public works. And when they're out picking up trash, they can't be fixing potholes. They can't be sweeping the streets. They can't be doing the other things. We don't have enough people.
that's why we shouldn't have been buying it.
We need to have enough people to do it. And that's what we're trying to move toward, because this isn't the only area. If you think back, you'll remember just a couple of months ago, somebody was saying similar things about why we're cutting grass and putting it on people's tax rolls. They can stop that easy, cut it themselves, and it's no problem. But when we're cutting it and drawing that money right out of the general fund, the same place that's got to pay the water bill, that's gotta pay the trash and all the rest, and there ain't enough money there. But if we start charging when we cut other people's lots, they'll figure out after a while that it's cheaper to go ahead and get it done themselves. Then we don't have to pay for it. And we can use that money to pay somebody to be on that street sweeper behind there
Well, we
and
need
do
to-
some other things that we need to get done.
We need to be getting our youth and giving them a lawnmower, and maybe they put the guns down.
If we can find some you willing to take a lot more, I'm willing to work on that.
Okay, all right.
Chair, I'm hearing a lot, and I don't know, I know a lot of people know that we've been working on recycling for a long time.
Long years.
Long time. 2, 3 governors in the state of Michigan wanted us to get involved. Now, I know Mr. Little probably don't know. We had a meeting right here in this room. Eagle, Freshwater, several groups was here, and we talked about our recycling program. Now, Mr. Little has a transfer station that we got a grant for. But the state of Michigan wants to help Benton Harbor learn to recycle. It's a process.
Yeah.
Educate the people, acquire the equipment, and move forward.
Yeah.
We can't do that because they can't put money in the water department's fund. We have to separate our trash from our water. Now, we've been talking about this for over a year, just this part, getting our trash separated from the water bill.
And
So we can get technical funding, everything we need.
Yeah.
They will help us with the building, equipment,
Yeah.
everything, anything that we need to start our recycling program. 45 years late.
now it's time,
So now
promise you.
Now we're looking at giving the people another chance to pull us out. But I'm gonna ask you this question. What makes you think that it's okay just because you don't have to buy new furniture or you ain't getting used furniture? There's a reason why our people put out so much trash.
Why?
Because they're buying trash
Yep,
and they have to go and buy some more trash.
yep,
That's what we've been trained to do since we left slavery.
yep. Jump up and down only 1, 2 times and it's.
So there's a reason for all of this. And some of you sitting here don't know nothing about being poor or what happens when you're poor. So there's a reason, and I mean, you kept saying compassion. You got to think about the person that you're talking about. Can a senior person throw out an old table and pay $30 for a mattress and a bed, and it costs them $30 each? That's the problem that I would have.
Well, you get to decide that.
Yes.
Yes, yes. We
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
decide
yeah.
that.
But do you know what we do in sitting right here when the financial director tell us we're broke and we should not be spending any money? And then we get up here in front of everybody and we spend it anyway. We've been doing this for 4 to 5 years that I know of, that she's been telling us to stop spending money. But we spend it anyway.
Yeah.
On what somebody else want us to spend it. Because we don't come up with nothing. We just vote on it when they bring it up to us.
I would love to teach some kids how to real post.
Now here we are. We just spent some money that we don't even have. But we did it because Staff asked us to.
Which one was that?
All the time.
Oh, the 25, that's the last thing that keeps ringing in my head, $25,000 for the plaza. Where did that money come from?
For the what?
It did not.
The street sweeper, the chipper, the hot heat presser.
Got too many people talking at the same time.
So what I'm saying to
I
us,
want to order, guys.
If we just have-
This is the last item, and
we just have to listen and be particular what we're saying about our people that vote us in.
Okay.
You gotta have some compassion and think about it. And I'm glad Mr. Little was here to hear the problem we've been having with the transferring of the money for trash.
You're
And
not
what?
having any problem with transferring money. There is absolutely nothing to gain about separating. All you gain is a bigger postage bill to double the number of things you make.
It
That's all.
allows Eagle,
No, it does not.
EPA, it allows all of them to give us a grant.
No, it does not.
Separate
I'm
lines.
All right.
applying right now for the grant that you're talking about, and it's got nothing to do with the bills, trash, or anything else. It is simply just as I described it. Money to buy these bins, to educate people about how to use them, and a truck to pick the stuff up. And it ain't got nothing, there's no
I'm only
condition.
telling you about what they said in the meeting. I don't have no information about it.
Well, I
And,
was saying-
and they've
I was saying,
held up
Commissioner-
every grant we've asked for.
Well, I was saying,
Since
Mr.
then.
Commissioner, because of the committee, you have the information, if you want to, I think you should open this topic up in,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
communications and look
I'm
at all
going
the
to do that.
information, against what he's saying, if you don't agree or don't believe what he's saying about it.
I'm not disagreeing to what he's saying. I'm just saying what Eagle, our state of Michigan,
Yeah, but I'm saying
came
you
in
should.
this room and explained to us.
But it's always usually a hoop. There's always one level to the hoop when it comes to grants. That's why all grants ain't good grants. And why we shouldn't take every grant, because sometimes it costs us more to administer the grant than actually what we're receiving. And those are facts.
And then we charge the people.
Mr. Vaughn, you had a question. You had,
I think it kind of goes back to like as far as like the grass cutting and things like that. My wife and I, we stay on Hall Street, right up here on Main. And I've been in a car accident last year because of trees literally being in the way where I have to pull all the way out to see the road. Right here on Hall and Main, there's like these shrubs of some sort where we're literally pulling all the way out of the street before, we could tell if a car is coming or anything. So is that a part of what you guys are talking about when you say like going around and cutting the yards? Because also right next door to me, there was this drug house that they just came and like cleaned it up. Well, not necessarily cleaned it up, but they tore trees down and they cut the yard or whatever like that. It still looks bad, but at least the trees and the grass is not as tall as me.
That's the city's neglecting their part.
So is that a city-owned lot? Are you saying that this is a city-owned lot that you can't see around?
So it's on Main Street, so I don't know, it's right in front of no, it's not. So it's Hull right here, and this is Main Street.
Right.
And there's like,
Because if we could figure that out, I mean, I know the city would address it if you.
I'll be glad to help with that. Here again, because of the particular circumstances of our city, we wind up having to do a lot of stuff that cities don't have to do in other places. Technically, what you described is the responsibility of the property owner that owns that lot where that takes place. But under the circumstances you've got in this city, the city found it easier to just every so often try to send a truck out with people to stand up and clip those from around the sign so that you can see it. Because all you go through to try to get somebody to do what every place else they do it themselves.
Right.
When I lived in Springfield, when I lived in Green Bay, when I lived in Florida, you don't have any issues. Because the people understand they gotta take care of it, and they take care of it. You don't, you go down and you see the curves. You can see the full imprint of the curve because the people cut the grass back from the curve. All right? But here, that kind of stuff just don't happen automatically. So we wind up trying to, with fewer resources than anybody, taking on more and more and more to try to the point where everybody thinks, oh, it's the city's job. People pull up in front of you in a car, open the door, and kick the McDonald's cups out in the street.
Now,
And
look,
and you look at it,
wait a
and
minute,
you gotta say something to them, they pull off.
wait a minute.
You know?
I saw somebody that don't look like me riding in front of me.
I didn't say
You
what they
know,
were.
I'm saying that to me, so stop. I gotta say this, because.
Commissioner, he's just saying in
I
general,
know,
he not
it's not about
saying.
that, but
I'm
I've been
saying
here
it too.
long enough to know, even when I attended county meetings as a St. Joe River Authority, the land bank. Benton Harbor got so much empty property around here, we have a responsibility too, as gatekeepers, as elected officials. And we've lacked on cutting what the city is supposed to, and cleaning up what the city is supposed to. And there's a reason that this city is like it is. Because when you're dealing with poor and impoverished Black people, underserved community, and then greedy people step up when they're trying to be served to take from them, it continues. It continues. They continue to be underserved. But they're the ones that have brought this city this far. And now that things are happening, showing up, I don't need an S on my chest for nothing. But the underserved people of this community will be served.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams.
Just another comment about Main Street in that area. From the time that Main Street was rehabilitated, there've been a number of issues with people trying to get out, Hall Street in particular, because of its relationship to the hill.
Yeah.
You get people who come speeding through there, and we've had a number of people who had issues. We asked in the time that all of that was done, that the speed limit be lowered to 30 in both directions from that area all the way down to the bridge, and have made no traction whatsoever with MDOT over that. But perhaps, since they can do it in St. Joe, perhaps someone else can get them to act on it. But it really would make a difference in downtown as well. People would feel a lot safer parking and a lot safer walking the streets without worrying about somebody plowing into them at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Even on Pipestone
Yeah.
and Colfax and some of these other streets where they run like that.
Yeah, but Pipestine's already 25 and they ignore it.
Yes. One of the things that I want to say, and I brought this issue up just recently. There was a garden is at one time, there was a tree had grown between the cracks, a bush rather, there, right there in front of the garden. So the city didn't do it, but I had to get the lift up and get that tree out because people have to go out in the street in order to get around walking on the sidewalk. So now I have the problem, they've taken all the street trees down, coming down May Street up to Broadway. And I have a telegram post, which is older post, and a tree that's there. And I asked them why all of the trees you've taken down all the way down, but you leave this particular tree up. They said they was told not to take it down. Telegram post and it is like this, hugging each other. In fact, the tree got a curve into it where it grew with the telegram post. I got the pictures here on my phone that I can show you, or you can go right by there, because it's the Main Street side, that the telegram post, and it is there and the tree, the root had to be cut in order to take the sidewalk down to a straight level to make it, convenient for, and safe for people to walk. So once that root is taken out, which helps balance and hold that tree in, once you cut its roots, the trees start dying. Not only that, the tree doesn't, a strong wind could blow that tree, somebody could get killed. So that is a safety issue there. So if you think, if you wanna see what I'm talking about, and I don't think I'm asking too much, that tree should have been taken out, just like the rest of it. The telegram post, and it's got its number, serial number and everything on it. I took a picture of it. So if this happens and someone get hurt, that's gonna cause the city to be sued. I was told that, no, I would be sued, but that's city property. The sidewalk and the tree lawn is the city's property. And for me to be liable for paying for someone getting hurt, my insurance company, he said we'd be responsible for the trees and the tree lawn part too, that's for any.
It's a telegram post that you said.
Telegram post in the tree, and I didn't
So
plant
an
the tree.
AEP poll? I'm asking, is it an AEP poll?
And yes, it is.
So if I were you, I would call AEP, because they should have put it there if it was a tree right there.
I'm trying to figure out why did they take all the rest of the trees down Main Street, but didn't take that particular one down.
I've gotta be some places.
They're probably healthier than the rest of the trees.
I actually don't know, Commissioner. I would call AEP. They cut down one of my trees and they weren't even supposed to. And then left a thing in there, and I called AEP.
Their right-of-way people take care of those
Yeah, they're right.
things.
You need to call AEP, because they removed one of my trees and they were not supposed to. They
Well,
cut down the tree.
They said
And then
that,
left the stump, and I called them, I was like, what, y'all cut down my tree, and y'all shouldn't have, and she said, no, they weren't
but they
supposed to
had
cut
said
it
the
down.
engineering company told them not to.
You could call, if I were you, I would call AEP. Especially if there's a pole there.
Yeah,
because they-
well, they're getting ready to put the
'Cause I
sidewalks
called
and all in, yeah.
They gotta
But it seemed
maintain it.
like, why did they take all the rest of them down?
That's a
And
question you
that
would have to ask them.
They have to maintain a
Kimberly, this is the
5-year,
last item, and I
growth
wanna move it
away
forward, because
from-
the commission has to vote on it, so
Comments?
it has to come back. And the last item is, public comments.
I'd like to ask, that you put, Project Need Foundation on your agenda for next month, please.
For legislative committee,
Yes.
or,
Well, I
economic
don't know,
development,
which one do we go through?
probably be economic.
Want to be recognized as, well, that might not happen because it's been canceled.
Community and economic development,
Yeah,
project need,
yeah.
you add that to the.
I was also asked that you, Madam Chair, and Co-Chair, would think about what it would look like for the city to come up with some type of policy or legislation to introduce to not only the city, the community, but the state as well, because it's coming, to put something together for decarbonization, weatherization, because that whole thing is about to change. And who handles money to ensure that the underserved is served when it comes to weatherization. I think it's a place over here that's been handling, yeah. There's a lot of stuff about to change. But to put together some type of legislation, I'll do my research if other communities have started. And I attend a lot of the meetings, but it's gonna come through your committee, so if you keep your eyes and ears open, try to
whatever action.
see what, any form of climate change, because this thing is large, it's like an octopus.
Mr. Sims, you live in the city now, you should apply to serve on some of the committees.
Yeah.
Is there any other comments or? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Yeah, I'm putting, you should serve on one of the committees, you live in the city now, right?